Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you how you can live and study in the United States for absolutely no cost as a high school student. And yes, it's possible. So in 2015, I was selected for the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program, also known as the KLYES program. This program is a scholarship funded by the US Department of State, and it allows high school students from a lot of different countries to live in the United States with a host family, an American host family, and study at an American high school for absolutely no cost. And it is a very, very competitive scholarship. The eligibility criteria may vary from country to country, and a lot of different countries are actually eligible for the YES program, including Pakistan, India, Indonesia, Turkey, and a lot of other countries. If you are interested in knowing whether your country is eligible for the program, I will leave the YES website in the description box below, so make sure to check that out. For the rest of this video, I will be going over the eligibility criteria for the YES program, and I will also take you through the entire application process. And towards the end of this video, I have a few special tips that I will share with you, which I know will help you improve your chances of being accepted for the YES program. If you have any questions whatsoever, make sure to let me know and I will answer. Other than that, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would mean so much to me. Thank you.
So the first thing you need to do is to go on the yespk.org website, which is the official website for the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange and Study Program in Pakistan, and you need to click on the eligibility criteria, which tells you who can apply for this program. So in Pakistan, if you're applying for the KLYES program, you should be a Pakistani citizen and reside in Pakistan. You should be in secondary school and currently be enrolled in either 9th or 10th grade or the O-level equivalent. You should have a minimum of 15 years of age and you shouldn't be older than 17 years. You should also have 60% marks, at least 60% marks in all of your major or core subjects, especially English, mathematics, and sciences in the last class attended. And basically the same for the previous 3 years of your education. So if you're in 9th grade, you should have at least 60% marks for your 7th, 8th, and 9th grade transcript. And for 10th grade, you should have at least 60% marks for 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. You should be able to communicate in English well, and you must not have traveled to the United States before. Now that we've looked at the eligibility criteria, if you think that you fit this criteria, you can move on to the application process right here. So when I applied for the KLYES program, the website was not as detailed as it is now. And a lot of the eligibility criteria has also changed, and the application process is also a little bit different now, but for the most part, it is the same. But the good thing is that they now note down all of the steps through the application process, which they didn't when I was applying. So I basically had no clue what would be the next round for my application. But that made it all the more fun. So the first thing is a preliminary application. And you will find this application on this website when the application opens. I think the deadline last year was in May. So it should open sometime in June or earlier, but you should keep checking their Facebook page, which is listed here, and their websites to have more information about that. So I downloaded a previous preliminary application to show you what the preliminary application looks like and what it asks for. So you will download this application and fill it out by hand, or you can edit it online and then print it out. It asks for your basic information, your name, details about your school, your results, a recent photograph. It also asks some questions which are pretty much related to what the eligibility criteria was all about. It will ask about some information about your parents or your legal guardian. But the most important part for this application, I believe, is your previous results. You are required to attach your birth certificate or your family registration certificate to the application. And you're also required to attach complete photocopies of mark sheets for the last 3 years. I think this is the most important thing for this application, because what they're looking for is academically strong students. And what you need to do is that you need to mail all of these documents to the Iron Center in Karachi, and they have the address down below. So you can simply TCS this or use any other courier service that is available so that it reaches them well before the deadline and you're done with the first part of the application. So once you're done with that, you will move on to the second round if you're successful, and you will be called in for an entry test. When I was applying for the YES program, they did not have an entry test. So I don't have much of an idea of what the entry test is about. But I think the entry test will most likely be some sort of written questions and scenario-based questions, which will be directly related to the program. So I will move on to step number 3, which is interviews. The interviews are pretty straightforward. So they will ask you about yourself, who you are as a person, and they will also give you some scenario-based questions and put you in some sort of situation that you've never been in before. But if you are selected as an exchange student, you will have to go through those situations. So they want to see if you are the right person for this sort of an experience and if you can cope up with the life of an exchange student. The fourth part is the English language test for international students. This test, when I gave it, I found it very simple and straightforward, but it is basically an English language test, so you need to be good at English. They will have a section for speaking, for writing, and for reading. So for the reading one, it will be basic comprehensions that you will note down the answers to. It is nothing too complicated like the SAT. It's very simple, and you've probably done this in your English class before. For reading, you need to, so I basically explained reading before. For writing, you will be given a set of questions and you will need to write an essay type of answer for them. And when I was volunteering for the English language test, a lot of students called me and asked me, what should I write for this sort of a question? And I really couldn't help them at that point because it is very personal and you need to be honest and you need to think about the scenario and think what you would do and answer accordingly. And don't try to alter your answers so that you would be more likely to get accepted, because it is very, very obvious when you're lying and when you're trying to impress the examiner for the test. And yeah, that's basically the English language test. And the final evaluation is basically all of the processes named above, including a neatly filled, completed YES final application. So this final application will require a letter to your host family. It will require a lot of information about your personal, your personal details, as well as your medical information, so as to ensure that you are fit and healthy to travel. And what you need to do at this point is to mail again all of these documents to the SIE office in Karachi. And if you are selected, they will get back to you and basically send you an envelope saying you are selected for the YES program and you can now join us. So that is the excellent or the most desired outcome that you would want. So how do we ensure that we are selected for the Kale YES program? I personally have a few YES program application tips that will help you increase your chances of being accepted to the Kale YES program. So the first thing that I would suggest is to improve your English. So how do you improve your English? You can improve your English by reading books, by watching movies, and most importantly, by having conversations in English and by writing. So when you write, you should get feedback from your teachers, from your peers, and basically continuously and consciously try to improve your English language skills because they will help you a lot throughout the application process. And the second thing, and very important thing, is to improve your grades because as you can see, the first thing that they ask for is essentially your grades. The next thing I would say is to not limit yourself to academic achievements. And what I mean by that is that you should be focused on your extracurriculars and you should show who you are as a person throughout this application. So if you have a passion, if you have hobbies or goals in life, they're very important to share throughout this application process because when you're an exchange student, you will live with a host family, you will have friends from all over the world, and you will have for the most part, you will not get accepted in the first place, but even if you do get accepted, there's a higher chance of you coming back from the US or you getting kicked out of the program, which will not look good on your resume or anything. So please be honest about your achievements, about your grades, about everything throughout this process. And my last tip is to do your research. Now, what do I mean by research? So you've come to the right place, first of all. By watching this video, you are giving yourself a chance to learn more about the program and to prepare yourself for the application well. But I think no research is enough, and you need to do as much research as you possibly can with your academics at this point. So there are some resources that I would suggest for you to get to know the YES program better, so that you know exactly what type of a person the YES program is looking for and what the program is about. Especially if you do not know anyone who's been on the program before, which was my case. If you do know an alumna or an alumnus, you should contact them, ask them questions, and I am always available for answering any of your questions. So you can go to my blog, which is theprogresselement.wordpress.com. I will leave this in the description box below. But you can follow my blog. You can go on my Instagram, DM me, or send me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as possible and answer any questions that you might have. So if you go on my blog and you go to the categories and you click on exchange experience, you will be able to read about my experience as a KLES exchange student. So these are all of my articles that I wrote as an exchange student, things that I did, the experiences that I had, and what I think about exchange. And I also have some tips such as this, which explain gift ideas for host family and friends. So if you are a finalist for the YES program, you can come to this blog and learn more about what you can do to best prepare yourself for this experience. Another great resource is the